When I was graduating from the 8th grade, I volunteered to play a short rendition of Amazing Grace on my trumpet during graduation. I was sweating from my ears as I walked up to the stage to play the 2-minute rendition that I had been practicing for months. It was a version I learned myself by ear and never had to write it down. I owned that song every time I practiced it. Except this time. The sounds that came from my trumpet would have made a banshee cringe. I couldn't form a single note, and left the stage crying. I bawled in front of an auditorium packed to the brim for my 8th grade graduation. What a fool I made of myself. But thankfully, I had some good friends, an amazing music teacher, and a supportive community at the school. After calming down, I gave it another try and crushed it. The crowd went wild and gave me a standing ovation. I think my parents even led an attempt at the wave. I didn't even care that they were probably just cheering that I didn't leave to go cry again. My absolute worst fear came true, and things still turned out okay. Learning from mistakes is the surest way to build momentum and crush a goal, as long as we use the experience as a learning moment instead of feeling bad for ourselves. I could have quit that night and vowed never to play the trumpet again, but I was given a second chance and redeemed myself. I moved forward through the failure and used it as a learning opportunity. The truth is, we will either strive forward or putz backward. Remember the neutral myth? There is no middle ground. There is no status quo, only positive or negative momentum. For most of my life, I've had very little forward momentum. And while I've avoided an accumulation of too many embarrassing stories like the one you just heard, I think I've most often failed by not failing. I haven't been able to use failure as a springboard to growth until very recently. I used to be clouded by so many questions. How should I spend the majority of my time? Should I go to college? How do I make a girl like me? What do I want to do with my life? I realized that I wasn't taking action and that I was failing a lot, but not using it to move forward. I was failing for nothing and not growing. This is failing backwards, not forwards. What a mess I made of a lot of things. What a mess I had to dig myself out of. In high school I did well, but didn't apply myself fully. I made a few close friends and then spent the rest of my free time in self-serving endeavors like video games or tennis. Fast forward to senior year of college. My girlfriend of 6 months broke up with me and broke my heart. I had already accrued tons of college loan debt for a degree I didn't have any desire to use, and I once again spent most of my time playing video games, and I got fat in the process. After college wasn't any better, I had to borrow money from my roommate to pay the first rent bill in our new apartment. I hate thinking about that, and I don't even like sharing it, but it's where I was at the time. I was poor, without a plan, and overweight. My then girlfriend, now wife, still loved me somehow, and for that I am forever in her debt. But I didn't have a lot of respect for myself. I was floundering with no real plan for building a future. Without the structure of college, I was losing momentum quickly. I was falling backwards and going nowhere. I wasn't using the failure for growth. Can you relate? Luckily, God had a plan for me. He has a plan for you too. But you need to take a step towards that plan and keep stepping and then failing every day. A grander plan. Success seems to be connected with action. Successful people keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. Conrad Hilton. The day I realized I was missing out on my grander plan is firmly planted within my mind. I was at the Global Leadership Summit, the GLS, the summer I turned 25. The GLS is a leadership conference that aims to encourage and empower leaders of all kinds to lead their businesses, churches, and organizations with the utmost care and attention. I can't give you a quote from that day that changed me. Rather, I only know that after I left, my mindset was changed. Legacy mattered. My life mattered. What we do in this life really matters. Why had it taken so long to sink in? I wish I knew. But at 25, I was ready to go. I was ready to make a big difference in the world. I was ready to stop spending so much time worrying about my own wants and needs and ask how I could be part of a grander plan. I didn't know for sure what that grander plan was, but I felt more aligned with God's heart and plan for me than I ever had. I felt as if I was getting closer to finding the purpose for my life.